Gracie. I'm gonna sit.
I want to introduce Chiara. I'm Gracie. I'm the Director of Educator Wellness and Empower Ed, and really excited that you all are here, and I'm very excited that there is this workshop today, because we've been just doing a lot over the past couple of years at looking at educator wellness, and with some amazing school partners, some of whom are here today. And Chiara is just a very wonderful, special person in my life, and she's a Italian teacher at Harding Middle School. She's an innovative teacher. She has a great poster board on desk-free classrooms, and the way that she connects to students through relationship is just really inspiring and powerful to me. And I've been lucky enough to get to work with Chiara in some of the self-care work that I do, and it's just been amazing to get to watch you do this amazing facilitation. So it's just an honor to have you here, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. And I would add, we're also friends. Ciao. Hey everyone. How's it going?
Great.
Great? Yeah, I'm not feeling the energy though. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Yeah? Okay. So let's do it. Welcome. So I like to start all my presentations, even before we dive into, with the land acknowledgement. Not everyone is used to this practice, but I do like to start it. Everyone wants to read it. No volunteers? You can volunteer someone else. Okay, go my friend.
Recognizing the Tank and Piscataway people, the first residents of the land that would become the District of Columbia. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to make the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hope of a better life. And some have lived on this land for more generations that can be counted. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We stand on the ancestral lands of the Nakotchink and the Piscataway people. We pay respects to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that brings us together here today.
This land acknowledgement is not mine, but it belongs to the CAH Commissioner Quince Floyd at the U.S. Department of Arts and Culture. So I like to start my presentation with the land acknowledgement so that we can ground ourselves and our work in the respect that we have for each other and for who preceded us. Thank you so much. Okay, so as Gracie introduced, I'm Chiara. We are going to talk about wellness today, and this is what we will cover a little bit, not that you need to know. I found this picture very funny because I feel that a lot of what we think about wellness is all these to-do lists, which is not exactly what wellness is about, but I just thought it was funny, so I put it up there. So, and I would also like to thank you for being here today, because today what we're doing is really, we're planting seeds for ourselves, for our well-being, so that we can spread it to others. It's a rippling effect. Okay, so my sessions are very interactive, so be prepared to do some work. The very first thing we're going to do is our hands and feet stories. So I'm going to ask you to turn to someone next to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm going to, let's see. Lock eyes with your partner. And use proximity. Perfect. Okay. So what you're gonna do? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Number 2 is going to tell us what is your wellness story. How are you drawn to wellness? Do you have any particular story that connects you to the topic of wellness. And number one is going to do non-judgmental listening. You know, you can nod, you can smile, it's not forbidden. Just like try not to interrupt or give advice, okay? So it's just you're just listening, okay, to the best of your abilities, and just like we're gonna have a 1 minute conversation, okay? Go guys.
Jean.
Oh yes, introduce yourself.
I might have missed it. I was working on any sort of like that's like do stuff like that, and it's almost a to-do list. Another thing is like trying to find it, but always a right? Because I have 2 young children to go. And I work full time, so does my husband. If I'm busy, I'll just like grab some things. I'm trying to do a couple things, like at least exercise a couple times a week, doing either something I want to work on with my family or when I it's still finding that older age hasn't caught up with me, and it's harder to do that. But yeah, I do think it's important in terms of, so that's physical needs work. In terms of emotional wellness, I suppose. Still working on trying to get consistently and trying to do working on things like sustainability. Super busy on this side. Feel a bit more stable. So I'm towards more stable, trying to get things done and trying to be more spiritual.
We're not stopping until everyone does it. Oh, bravi! Okay, good job, everyone. Okay, so guess what? Now, number one, what you're gonna do, the story that you've heard, you're gonna retell it, but you're not gonna use words. You're gonna use your hands. Like, oh my gosh, how can I do that? Oh, it happens. The kids love these. You can do it, okay? However you want, it's creative. You have about 30 seconds to retell the story, but I'm gonna give you a moment to think about how you're gonna do it. So, we're not gonna do the feet part today, but we're just gonna do the hands, okay? So, get ready. 30 seconds. Retell your story. Your partner's story. Sorry.
This is weird.
Oh, no words. No words. Oh, sorry.
How do you do yoga like a sweat?
Downward dog.
Ooh, like that.
That's beautiful.
I just want to start signing.
So they told each other their
I'm so sorry.
partner told their story of partner one is now
I'm exhausted. There's only 2 people on our team.
I think you did. Yeah.
I'm like social studies manager. Our team is supposed to be
You could be an actor.
Gracias. Thank you so much. Can you thank your partner? Thank you. Thank you for sharing and thank you for doing it. So how was it? Did your number 2? Let's start with number 2. Number 2. How did you feel the retelling went? Was it good?
I thought it was great.
You thought it was great. Yay.
Yeah, very good on the spot.
It's not easy, right, to retell a story when you can't speak.
But she totally got it. I felt it. She got it.
That's great. Yay! And now partner 1, how did it make you feel to need to retell a story without using words?
I mean, it was different. It was like a different like medium of communication, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should have really been listening better. I was like, I'm gonna do my best and give it my best mime attempt, and I think I did pretty well.
You did very well. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, do you feel now you have a connection to the person that is next to you?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, right? So what we need when we work on wellness is really to create that sense of connection and community, even when we don't know each other really well, and we don't have to know each other super well. I'm sorry, I feel like I've skipped a slide. I would like to tell you a little bit about my story, my wellness story. So I was drawn to wellness because I have been at least 2 times on the brink of burnout. Okay, I've been teaching for DCPS since 2012, and I've been teaching in the DC area since 2007, the year when I moved here from Italy. I'm an Italian native. And my family is all in Italy. My husband is American, so I followed him here. It was wonderful up until I had my first child, and I started working for DC Public School. I had the 2 things happening at the same time. It was a bomb. So I got really sick. I had like health issues, and once I was able to recover from my health issues, I sought for mental help because I needed to be present for my student and present for my newborn son. I had no help as a mom because my family is all in Italy. My husband's family was far away as well, so it was just me and him, and please don't tell him that, but he's like my 3rd child. So, well, he used to be. He's actually so much better now, thank goodness. So that was the first time where I really felt like I remember collapsing on the floor and just crying desperately and just saying to my husband, my students hate me. I don't want to do this job anymore. It's too hard. But of course, it was the combination of being a mom and being a teacher, and I couldn't run away from being a mom. So, but searching for mental help was at the time what really saved me. Then I had, fast forward, I have another child now, and it's 2020, the pandemic hits, yay! Somehow that triggered my anxiety all over again. I started not sleeping at night. January 6th happened. I went in total fear and anxiety mode. I shared it with my students, and I reached out for more help. In the meanwhile, from my son's birth to the pandemic, I have been working with my therapist for 11 years, but I needed more help, and that's when I reached out to Gracie, who works as a self-care consultant. And I remember the very first question that Gracie asked me is, how do you have fun in your life? And I was like, I have been so busy teaching, mothering, pandemic, people assaulting the Capitol. I don't know how I have fun. I just keep going because this is what I've been trained to do, just to keep going and not think about anything else. And so that was, again, my next phase of my journey towards wellness, where I started really taking care of myself and paying more attention to the ways in which I have fun and try to make space for myself. And because of that, I also won an award as Teacher of the Year for DCPS, not the standing ovation award, but as world language teachers. And I, curiously enough, as soon as I stopped worrying about being the greatest teacher ever, and I just started enjoying being a great teacher. That's when I started getting the awards, the wonderful letters or support from parents. Is like when I stopped trying being perfect. And I embraced my true self. That's when my journey really became more enjoyable, and I and I went through the burnout. But it's important to also know that going through burnout is something that as teachers or as people that work with public happens to us, because we go through something that we do as teachers or parents. Who's a parent? Raise your hand if you're a parent. Oh, okay. So we suffer from the human giver syndrome. We keep giving our hearts and our minds to our children, our students, our schools, our communities, and we forget to replenish for ourselves. And we feel also another layer, which is guilt. Like, when I don't give my best, I'm not doing enough, therefore I am not good enough. So that's a whole other layer, and that's something that brings us to burning out. It's not only like we're having a hard time, but it's also the sense of guilt that we're carrying with us about not being able to do our best. I, by the way, really recommend Burnout, The Secret of Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Emily Nagoski and Amelia. They are a wonderful pair of twins, and she wrote Come As You Are. I don't know if you, it's a book about female sexuality. And like the book is the story of Amelia going through burnout. Very similar to me. She got physically sick, and so I would highly recommend it. And they do a whole study about not teachers but parents. So the problem with our, something that brings us to burnout is really that desire of perfectionism. And that's something that Gracie and I worked hard on during my self-care journey, because I'm a perfectionist. Raise your hand if you think you are a perfectionist. Ooh, look around the room. Lock eyes with someone else that is a perfectionist. Okay? So I love this quote by Brené Brown, because she said that perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best, okay? But it's the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can avoid pain. I've done so much of that. Like, that's why I was on the floor crying that day, because I thought that because my students were acting up, that they didn't love me. They weren't respecting me. Guess what? It was totally the opposite. When they graduated, they came back saying, Prof. Monticelli, your class was the best. And like, when I walked past the other classrooms, they were all quiet and listening and being the perfect students. And then in my classroom, they were a mess. And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? But my class is what stayed with them. Because it wasn't perfect, and because it's not perfect. And now I have embraced that idea of not being perfect. So part of why I went deskless and chairless was also to take care of that, like to take down that idea that everything needs to look a certain way. So let's play a fun game. Everyone stand up. We're gonna play Spectrum. Spectrum is fun. I love Spectrum. Okay, so leave all your stuff, and we're gonna move around the room, okay? Allora, so we said perfection. Think of your desk right now if you're a teacher or you work in an office. Okay, your desk looks like the magazine's desk, like perfect. All the pens are in chromatic order. It's, oh my gosh, it's so perfect, it's so beautiful. Or you cannot even see the surface of your desk. That's me. Okay, so you come over here if your desk is perfect, and you go over there if your desk is covered and you cannot see the color of your desk. Okay? Or somewhere in the middle. Okay? Go!
Hang out over here.
You're gonna go outside.
Go right by the window.
Yeah, right? Let's jump off the window. Okay, so talk to the people in your group. See, describe your desk. What do you do? Why is your desk so messy or so organized? Go. Talk. Guys, go. Come on. So tell me about your desks. What do they look like?
Like somebody got mad and threw everything off and then just set it back up.
Oh, okay. Papers needing to be graded. Something like that. What about you?
So when I used to teach, it was the same thing, and it was like stacks of paper everywhere.
Right.
So like every stack was like a different type of thing, and then the graded, the not graded, stacks of paper, makeup work that I had to hand over to kids, and it was just a mess. I tried to convince myself it was organized, but really it wasn't.
Okay.
It's organized chaos.
Organized
You can't quite see it, but I know where certain things are. Like, here's my 2 pile of things that here's the stuff that I really need to do something with, like laptop, all that kind of stuff. And then random stuff my husband will take off the kitchen counter and put on my desk that he thinks is mine. So that's
Thank you. Well, same, of course. My dad, it's been a month I wanted to organize my office, and I can't do it. It's my limitation. Okay, don't move. Stay right here. Okay. I'm just coming. Okay, now I'll stay here. Okay. Let's do this. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Oh, keep passing. Keep passing. Keep passing. Keep passing. Keep
Which grade
passing.
levels do you teach again?
Oh, I teach middle school. Uh-huh. Okay. Ooh, great job. Other side. Okay. Okay. Ooh. I know. Oh, yes, let's do that. Okay, turn this way. No, turn this way. Okay. Ask the person in front of you. Can I give you a massage?
Can I give you a massage?
Okay, turn. Can I give you a massage?
Can I give you a massage?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you.
Oh yes, it's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's do one. Oh, thank your masseuse, your personal masseuse. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Oh, how are we doing with time?
12:02.
12:02. What time are we supposed to finish?
12:25.
Okay, so we still have time. Okay, let's do one more because I feel that perfectionism is a big one. Okay, so we're gonna do. Ooh, who has a good one? Who has a good extreme? Like I was thinking car, but it might not be like car. Yeah, your car is neat and organized and super clean, or your car is very messy. I also, when I'm just with teachers, we do classroom, we do planning, but I think this is a mixed crowd.
How about laundry?
Oh, laundry. Ooh, yes, how about laundry? Okay, your laundry. Ooh, this is a good one because I'm actually very good at laundry. So your laundry is perfect, neat, and organized, and it's in the drawers. Or your laundry is like still out in the basket.
Talking on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Give me a couple.
Oh, I'm seeing some movement. What do you know? What do you notice? Look around. What do you notice?
I think we do laundry on weekends.
Eh?
I think we do laundry on weekends. Like,
You think you do laundry on weekends?
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is that some of the people that said that they were messy on their desks are now moving on like,
Right.
or and vice versa. Like some people that might have a neat desk have, more.
Laundry's waiting.
yeah, it's really good.
Ooh.
If you had said your kids' laundry, I'd be over there.
Oh, no, I would never say, let the kids do the laundry. Let the kids do the laundry. Okay, yay. So, perfectionism is something that belongs to us, like in different spheres of our lives. It's either our job or our personal lives. It's there. It's not bad, okay? It is something that pushes us to strive, but it becomes an issue when we let that perfectionism take the driver's seat, okay? Instead of being a companion, okay? Like, I want to do my best, but it's not gonna be perfect. So, also attaching a judgment to perfectionism could be itself an issue, okay? So, striving for better, it doesn't mean having to be perfect. Gracie said this wonderful thing, I quote her, perfectionism is an operating system, but so is self-care, okay? So for me, when I went through my second burnout and, my kids were older as well, so I was at the point in my life where I could really shift and start really taking real care of myself in a nurturing way, and recognizing all the ideas that were fed to me. Hi, how are you? All the ideas that were fed to me. We can take a seat. Oh,
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
It's on delay.
It is on a delay.
Like this season.
I appreciate it.
So, how do we start practicing real self-care and wellness in our lives? Like, one thing that the person that I am and the perfectionist that I am, I like to go from 0 to 100. This is who I am, okay? Like, I went from desks and chairs and, the traditional teaching methodology to no desks, no chairs, no traditional methodology. We're not doing worksheets anymore. We're not doing anything of what those traditional teachers used to do. That's me. I'm not suggesting you do that because, again, that's me. That was part of my operating system. That was part of my perfectionism. It was like, okay, now I have an idea of how it should be, and it's gonna be like this tomorrow or yesterday, okay? But that was also bad because now that I'm in my second year of deskless and chairless, I'm realizing like how quick I wanted to do that change, and how instead probably I needed some transitional time. So that wasn't very Kaizen of me. So Gracie introduced me to the concept of Kaizen, which is the minimal change that you can do every day in your life. When I say these, I want you to think that small changes doesn't mean necessarily that the system also around you is gonna change. When I talk about the changes and the Kaizen moves you're gonna see next, this is not to deny that there is an issue within the system, within the school system, and the educational system, and the traditional educational system, that denies the fact that teachers need wellness. We need to take care of ourselves, okay? And so do doctors and nurses. They have flexible scheduling, unlike us. They have more days off than we do during the week, not necessarily during the summer. So, let's do another fun activity. Find someone that has the same hand size as you in this room, so you need to walk around. Find someone who has the same hand size as you, and you're going to discuss what minimal changes can you do to ease your life and inject more love, more fun, and more joy. I know this is a perfect, right? Okay, stand up, walk around. Find someone that has the same size as you, same hand size. Someone who has talked.
Fingers, anybody? Long fingers? Oh, almost. Well, we can pretend. Let's just pretend. I'm John. Anna, how are you? Good, good. So what are we talking about again? What do we do? Oh, for more fun, more joy? Mm-hmm. What about you? Me is listening to music. Yeah, I just like to listen to music. I catch public transportation to and from my school. So having certain playlists, I have like all types of playlists of music that I listen to just to get my mind in a happier space. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, the thing with music is it comes with its own mood and help you. So, like, I'll listen to a certain song that I know is going to bring about a certain mood. Like, I associate certain music with certain mood. So, like, I know I want to feel happy and I will. It's a song that I know will hear. It's a combination. I play music, so I usually but a lot of other music. It's all a big mix. I don't listen to just the words, it's the melody. It's all of it. Yourself, what do you do?
I've been reading more.
That's why I wish I would have been person to like to knock that and give myself.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao. Ooh, bravi. Okay, thank your partner.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to hear one or two people sharing about what did you hear your partner say. Okay.
So Jade was saying that she'll take some mini yoga, YouTube yoga breaks in the evening, sometimes the mornings, sometimes have her tea afterwards, is it? And decompress with a lighthearted show to just be present in that moment and have the other stresses melt away.
That's great. Do you want to share what?
Well, you started doing chow chow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my breakout groups are literally 1 minute. Anyone else?
Gracie and I had a really nice moment of connection. We both love tea, drinking herbal tea at night, maybe with a candle is sort of a nice way to stay hydrated, wind down, get ready for a good night's sleep.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
I was like just working out, like CrossFitting. Oh, he used to do CrossFit when they was doing heavy lifting. Yeah, no CrossFit. He also into the rowing as well, and I was looking to like do some competitive rowing at one time. And myself, it was like basketball, like just for just staying active. And even sometimes like on my my planning is my last period, so sometimes on my planning I'll shoot some basketball.
Ooh, yay for using the planning period for yourself. Let's give it a hand. Oh, anyone else?
When you have one.
Right.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
So sometimes you got a little bit of leeway.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm not sure, Monica was saying that she wants to get outside a little bit more, but that she had thought about like setting a goal of like hiking every day, and that seemed extreme, so we're gonna start small with a little outside. So I was really proud and impressed of that. Thought that was great.
Yes, exactly. That's very Kaizen. Good job, Monica. Anyone else? No? Okay, we can take a seat. Well, thank you everyone for sharing. Just keeping an eye on time. So, some examples of Kaizen in the classroom. Something that I started doing, I have my first period, A day, is my headache period. Like it sets the mood for the rest of the day, and if it doesn't go well, I'm off for the rest of the day, but I really do take a deep breath before the students come in with that first period. I really need it because it's gonna be okay. Also, another thing that I do every day when the students enter, I smile at the door. I ask them, how are you today? In my classroom, you know, it's the Italian classroom, so I stay in the target language. I ask them come stai, and I've taught them how to say, you know, I'm good, I'm bad, why are you bad? I would always follow up, especially if they're feeling bad. I would always follow up with what's going on, and they ask me back. I've taught them that they need to ask me back, and every time I say I'm not so good, they always ask me, why, Prof. Monticelli? So, and it's very sweet. They're wonderful. Also, putting a hand on your heart, for me, that's a wonderful practice. Like when I take that deep breath, I always put a hand on my heart. It's very centering for me. Have you ever done brain breaks in your class with your students? Yay! We need those too. So one brain break that I found that it's super fun for me to do with my students is on YouTube. They have these Wii videos of, you know, Wii athletics, and I just make them run, and I run with them, and I do the jumping jacks.
Nice.
And yes, I needed that. So because we need those brain breaks too. We cannot just teach, and go from one class to the next. Okay, we need those brain breaks. Chat or have lunch with a colleague, that's always nurturing for me. Sometimes I do need my alone time because I've been so social with the students that I need a little bit of downtime. But having lunch with colleagues has always been high on my priority list of self-care. During planning, please don't plan. Rest. Go out. Take a walk. Go grab a coffee. Take a nap. I take naps. I take the best naps during planning time. I brought a bean bag at school, and I sit on that bean bag and I take the best naps. Good. Yes. Yeah, you need that. Okay? Is the lesson gonna go south if you don't plan? No, because you are an experienced teacher. And even if you're not, don't worry, it's gonna come naturally. Oh, put a plant in my classroom. I started doing this year. It's so cute to see the plant growing and the kids get attached to it. Oh, also I love having recess with my students. When I have the energy to actually go outside and have recess with them, they're so cute because, you know, they come and talk to you and they want to know about you. So it's wonderful. And last, to really put the content on your students. So whatever you want them to learn, of course, you know, I know that for math is a little different, but just like trying to put more on your student, less on yourself, more on your students. The students are the ones that have to do the work, not you. I mean, you have to do work, but the idea is that school is about them becoming independent, so they have to do the work. These are more general examples of Kaizen in your life. So start your day with a centering practice. I do meditation. For some others, could be prayer, could be, you know, drinking your coffee by yourself. I have a whole ritual in the morning where I have breakfast by myself. If my kids wake up, I go back to bed. I love to take a scenic route to work. I live in Northeast, so I always drive past the what's that called? The reservoir. The reservoir. Oh, it's so beautiful in the morning. Drink water, watch funny videos. Someone said that. Yes, watch funny videos. Take a bath when you don't need it, not because you're dirty, but because you want to relax. Rediscover an old passion. That's something that really, when we started talking about how do you have fun, I wasn't having fun, so I had to think about how did I used to have fun. And I like to do jigsaw puzzles, so I bought a bunch of those and I started doing them. That was fun. Cuddle often. Cuddle with yourself, with your kitty, with your dog, with your kids. I also cuddle with my students, like cuddle, but I mean just like giving a hug, and that's good too. And put a hand on your heart. That's always big on my list. And for the next part, I would like to invite Allison. Hopefully we have time to go through. Allison is the wellness.
I'm a teacher.
Okay, I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
I am the teacher lead for the wellness that Empower Ed. Yeah. Okay. So these are the school wellness policies. So we have restorative justice support for school staff. We had a training in the spring at Ida B. Wells where some of us were trained, and we kind of pushed that out to the staff as a whole in the beginning of the year. It's just kind of having those repairing conversations, like if you have not only between student and student, but student and teacher, teacher and teacher, making reparations for anything that's gone bad between you and somebody else. Non-evaluative feedback for teachers. All of our admin, what they do is they put a sticky note if they're in their classroom for any sort of observation. They'll put a sticky note on just to let people know, we're here, and say something good about what they see when they're in the class. Staff-led professional development. I talked to a few people about one thing that we do is we have Thinking Thursdays every other Thursday, and that was brought to our team by Claire Shanahan, who is our ELA coach, and she sets it up so that teachers, kind of showcase their talents, and we get CSC credit for attending these sessions. They're optional, but the teachers get to show off, what they're doing that works well, and then we can all kind of it kind of spreads it out for the rest of the staff. Redefining mental health policy and practice. This one I could talk a little bit on. We have a connection with WISE, who is, so we have therapy, we have a therapist who comes in on Fridays, who actually sees people in her office on Fridays. It's through MedStar, through Georgetown. She's wonderful. She does group lessons as well. So I've had her come into my department meetings. I'm the social studies coach for 6th through 8th. And so she's done stress relieving techniques with us, kind of gauging where we are on the stress spectrum and giving strategies for how we can kind of eliminate or reduce that stress while we're at work. If Gracie or Scott, if you want to add anything else to that one.
What about the green passes?
The what?
Green passes?
Yes, I forgot, thank you. Okay, so we decided after, getting some data back last year, over the summer, that our principal was going to hand out a green pass to every single staff member. So at the beginning of the year, everybody got a green pass, and that is your wellness day pass, meaning that if you felt like you needed to take a day for a wellness reason, you hand that in, you say, I'm using my green pass, and it does not count against you as far as your sick time. So that was huge for the staff, and it kind of, I would say that it created a stronger bond between administration and staff, because it was their way of saying, this is how much we care about how well you're feeling at work, that we're willing to give you a day off when you need it, without any sort of sick time leave consequence. So as far as school wellness coordinators, Gracie, I am gonna definitely have you talk about this.
Okay, I would just, it is a role that we've seen emerging in some of our partner schools and other schools in the district, and both PCPS and charter schools, and it is someone who is not a clinician, but is coordinating wellness efforts for both staff and students. And we talk a lot about a tiered approach to wellness, so it's helping with the personal self-care practices, like what Chiara did for us today. but also looking at school culture and school climate, and then the organizational things, like being able to like come up with something like a Green Pass idea, communicate between staff and leadership, being able to do the surveying, put the programs into action, make sure that all of the important initiatives don't fall through the cracks when day-to-day stress comes up. And some exciting new legislation that White's office has just put out there, asking for 25 wellness coordinators to be put in some of the highest need schools to make sure that wellness is at the top of the priority list.
And then flexible scheduling, this is something that I know Empower put out a survey to all the teachers in the district, correct? And just in, kind of polling what people need as far as like, not reducing work hours, but making them a little bit more flexible. So if you need to go into work later and come home, work until later, that was one option. I know that at our school at Ivy Wells, we had a lot of people answer that they would rather go from, we really enjoyed the, when we were virtual, we had that Wednesday that was like that, it was like the perfect day where you have 2 days and then you had that kind of like a break where you could kind of reset and plan. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and I've actually talked to our principal about trying to work on something for next year.
Yeah, and one of the next sessions is flexible scheduling, so after lunch. Here, should-
What school you are, sorry? Ivy Wells Middle School.
And this is in partnership with through these grants that OSSI has for educator wellness. We work with 5 schools, WISE works with 5 schools, and so that's happened because of COVID relief. We're trying to make sure that money happens again locally, but because of that, we have teacher leaders at all of these partner schools that are able to lead these awesome wellness initiatives at their school with our coaching and support. And so Allison's been amazing. They've done it well.
Can I ask something? So, what if the school doesn't have that grant and want to participate in something like this?
Yeah, so the grant enables you to have a partner, which we think is really important just because someone needs to really focus on it, right? Like keep it at the top of the priority list, and that also enables us to give stipends, for example, to teacher leaders who are doing it. So other people can do it, and we do partner with schools outside the grant, but of course then the schools have to pay, and they don't have to pay with the OSSI grants.
Okay. And we partnered with you prior to
Yes, right. Okay. So Wells is partnering with us even prior to the OSSI grant, but we were able to do much more with them once we had the grant because they had the funding for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. What happens after the grant is exhausted? Like, do the school is the school supposed to take over? Is DCPS supposed to?
So there's Grace, you can answer more, but there's like a sustainability path that as we transition out, we're giving them a wellness toolkit and having leaders work on a wellness plan that'll continue from there, especially the schools we've been at with 2 years. But without the money continuing, no other schools, right, would be able to get that same kind of partnership. So that's our advocacy. But yeah, there's a transition plan for them to sustain it, to have teacher leaders at the school keep those initiatives moving forward.
How do eligible schools apply for that?
Yeah, so for this grant, it's at the end of a 2-year cycle, and we don't know whether it'll be in the budget for OSSI to keep those grants going. If those don't happen, people can reach out to Gracie, she manages our partnerships with schools, and schools can, we do a basic educator wellness 101 kind of workshop, and then we kind of survey staff, see what the needs are, and see if a partnership is of interest for longer term. But under the grants, we'll have to see if that gets funded again to be able to have schools do it without them eating away at their PD budgets.
I will say that most of the schools that we've done the intro workshop in since the beginning of the year seem to be able to find the funds to be able to want to do an ongoing partnership, and we get grants and Empower Ed, so we're able to keep our prices a little bit lower to be able to do, but a lot of our work is on sustainability, and I would say with at least 3 of our partner schools, Wells being one of them, that it feels very sustainable, we can move away and you all have the structures in place to keep it going, and that's really important for us. But it's a couple of our other schools, the leadership buy-in is not there, it's just we can't get traction because of just some of the other systemic stuff. So I feel with those schools we could, but we would need more time to be able to keep going, so it just depends on what school.
We feel very lucky at Wells that we have very strong administration who are very, very dedicated to make sure that their staff is feeling emotionally healthy.
Yeah, and I think that in some ways that also speaks to that teacher retention. I think administration and DCPS do need to make sure that these programs continue, because otherwise teachers will keep leaving. And I know that on my homework list is now I have to talk to my administration and reach out to you guys. Because, you know, I want to keep working at my school, but I also want to know that my school cares. And I have a whole new administration this year, and my administration, I don't feel they really care. So that's, you know, I did these because it was my personal journey. And I know that, like me, there are so many teachers struggling. And at my school, a lot of teachers are struggling because our administration is not supportive of teacher wellness. Like, they want us to take as much as we can. Like, now they do a thing called the Teacher of the Month, and that teacher gets 1 free period. But, like, that's nothing. 1 free period. The Teacher of the, like, okay. So, like, ooh, thank you so much. So, I mean, it's...
That is laughable, though. I apologize.
I agree. No, I agree. It's offensive,
yeah,
honestly.
that's the truth.
It's offensive. Like, you're giving me
Just
these...
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, oh, you're giving me the parking spot, the principal parking spot, and 1 free period. It's like, it's offensive. Like, you're giving me these just to, ha ha ha. It feels paternalistic. So, thank you so much for coming. I hope it was useful. I hope it was valuable. I hope, you know, you just enjoyed being together in the room. This is something that we have to work on together, and the more schools and the more individuals value our wellness, the more we will be able to keep our work, keep doing the work that we love and that we do, and do it together. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Allison, and thank you for all your participation. This has been amazing. I always get so inspired by like rooms of people talking about wellness. And just a couple of ways to stay in touch with the work is that we have a podcast now. It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called Educator Wellness Revolution. There are some QR codes around, or you can just search Educator Wellness Revolution. And we're looking for new guests and especially teacher voices. So if you're interested or know someone who might be a good fit for us or have a theme you'd like us to explore, go for it. And also we are doing partnerships with schools. We have a really dynamic intro workshop, which is a good way. We do surveying at the end of it to see if people want it. And then that makes a really good case, because people want it for ongoing work in their school. It makes a really good case for us to talk to leadership and say 95% of your staff say that this is a priority right now, and then we get to do the ongoing work to really empower the teachers. And our work is extremely teacher-led. We survey, we appoint teacher leaders, and we know that you always can't do the project management of it, but we want to take your ideas and we do the project management to make sure that it happens. So please come talk to me, and thanks again.
Thank you.